Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this latest rendition of Tales from Outer Space. Taken from the subreddit HFY. All the relevant links will be down below. And as always, I hope that you enjoy, and if you do, please consider supporting the channel. Now, on to the science fiction. Man's Best Friend, written by amphicoelias. Nicholas approached the garbage heap. After looking around to make sure no members of the tribe were guarding it, he stuck his hands in and dug around a bit. Soon he pulled them out again with nothing but trash, broken arrow tips, bones, and ash. He really didn't know what he'd expected. He knew what he'd hoped for though: food. He was starving. He wiped his hands off on the deer skin that he was wearing. Then he looked up, directly into a wolf's eyes. "Good morning," it said. Nicholas froze. The wolf looked at the things that he had just dug out of the garbage heap, picked out a bone and started gnawing on it. "Please don't eat me," Nicholas whimpered.
"Oh, please, chase down and kill a young human. Don't you think there's a reason why I'm looking for my food in the trash?"
"You are?" The wolf stopped gnawing on its bone and pointed at it.
"You think that I'm ruining my bad teeth on this thing for fun?"
Nicholas gave the wolf a confused look. It rolled its eyes and bared its teeth. They looked quite bad. Most of them were rotten, many broken. "Doesn't that hurt?"
"The pain I can deal with. It's this."
It bit down on the bone several times. There was no change.
"Bullcrap, that's the problem."
"So you're not going to eat me?"
"Nope."
"Okay." Nicholas snatched the bone from under the wolf.
"Hey!"
It yelled out and started growling. Nicholas put the bone down on a large rock and hit it with another, smaller rock. It broke into several pieces. He showed the wolf his hands and demonstratively wiggled his thumb a bit. "Opposable thumbs, pretty useful on occasion." He then pointed at the fragments. "Want to share?" The wolf tilted its head and gave him a skeptical look.
"Sure."
He gave it half and started sucking the marrow out of what he had left.
"You're awfully helpful for a human."
Nicholas shrugged. "Well, you said that you wouldn't kill me, and you're a wolf. You can trust wolves. They don't lie." He scraped the last bit of bone marrow off one of his bone shards and threw it away. "Now, monkeys. That's a different story, but you I trust to keep your word." The wolf raised an eyebrow.
"I don't think that's valid reasoning."
Nicholas shrugged again. "As long as it gives valid results."
"Does it?"
Nicholas smiled. "I guess you get to decide that." The wolf opened its mouth, but then closed it again and smiled as well. There was a silence for a bit as they both ate their meager meals. Nicholas finished first. "So, do you have a name?"
"Java."
"Nice to meet you, Java." He held out his hand, but realized his mistake and pulled it back again, smiling sheepishly. He sat around fidgeting with the bone fragments in his hand until Java had finished. "You're pretty relaxed around humans, aren't you?" he asked.
"Well, where there's garbage, there's humans."
She paused and thought about it for a while.
"Oh, is it that there are humans where there's garbage? Point is, you get used to your hairless freaks after a while."
"We're not freaks."
"You are. Have you ever looked at yourself? Those thumbs might be useful, but they're also just plain freaky. You have no hair, and apart from walking on two legs like some kind of flightless bird, you have no tails. Even birds have a tail. You're freaks, plain and simple."
"That's mean."
"Well, different species and all of that. It's not really expected that we'd be friendly towards each other."
Nicholas sat down and sighed. "I suppose. Doesn't have to be this way, though."
"What do you mean?"
"What I mean is, can't we just be friends? Wolves and humans. We'd work so well together. Wolves could hunt for us and guard us and,
"I will not be a servant to a human."
"You wouldn't be. Wolves would get something out of it as well. We could cook for you and make fire for you and help you raise your young."
"So, you're proposing some kind of partnership?"
Partnership. I want us to get along. I want us to be friends."
"You really think that would happen? As I said, wolves and humans are different species. Plant lice give ants their nectar because they protect them, and the ants protect them because they give them nectar. That's a partnership. That makes sense. But why would the plant louse want to be friends with the ant?
I guess you're right. Nicholas hung his head. He looked over at Java. But wouldn't it be nice, though? Could you imagine a future like that? Where humans and wolves live together, and when a house collapses, humans and wolves work together to free both humans and wolves. Where there'd be stories told of a brave human saving wolf cubs from drowning, or of a wolf shielding human babies from a fire, where a human, in the deepest of his misery, would be happy just because a wolf is beside them. He looked up at the sky and smiled again. Humans and wolves, we could go to space together. Java just smiled as well.
Now, you're exaggerating.
Nicholas was still looking at the sky. It was starting to get dark. The first stars were showing. Yeah, it would be nice. He suddenly scrambled forward. Want some jerky? Java's ears perked up.
Jerky?
Nicholas reached into his pocket. Yeah, jerky. I was saving this up for a special occasion, but I guess this is one. He pulled his hands back out of his pockets, along with 2 large pieces of jerky. He held them out to her. Pick one. Java's mouth was watering. She stared at the delicacy for a moment. She hadn't had a proper meat for a long time, let alone jerky. She remembered once finding a piece of it when she was young. She had savored it the entire day, and the thought that she would never have another piece had left her depressed for a week. Humans really were good cooks. She reached forward to grab it. There was a brown blur, and both were gone. Both Nicholas and Java looked around to see where it had gone. Then they heard the snickering. A monkey was sitting on a nearby tree. In its hands it held the precious snacks. They both ran after it. You give that back right now, Nicholas shouted. The monkey ignored him, preferring to take little bites off the jerky. Nicholas tried unsuccessfully to climb the tree. Java just stared up helplessly. Finally, Nicholas picked up a rock and lobbed it at the monkey. It hit, landing square between the eyes, causing it to drop the jerky. Java jumped forward to catch it. The monkey regained its footing and jumped down directly onto Nicholas, pushing him over. It then began savagely beating his face. Nicholas struggled but couldn't free himself from the monkey's grip. Java dropped the jerky. She would not be able to use her fangs with the food in her mouth. She started running for Nicholas, but then stopped and turned her ears backwards. It was that awful snickering again. She wheeled around. Indeed, another monkey was approaching the jerky. Her jerky. She growled. It stopped. Once again, her ears turned backwards. Nicholas was screaming. She looked back. He had curled up into a ball, trying to shield his face. His attacker was showing no signs of stopping. She looked away again, just in time to snarl at her own problem. The second monkey was almost close enough to grab the delicious jerky. She looked to Nicholas. She looked to the jerky.
Jerky or Nicholas, she thought. Jerky or Nicholas. Why is this so goddamn hard?
Another scream from Nicholas shook her from her thoughts.
Oh, fine.
She broke eye contact with a monkey and ran for Nicholas. In its rage, his attacker didn't even notice her. She lunged forward, grabbing it by the neck mid-jump. It had time for a single surprised yelp. Then they both hit the ground. The landing put more pressure on its neck vertebra than evolution had prepared them for. With a very audible crack, one of them snapped. The monkey was dead. Java turned around. Nicholas was scrambling back to his feet. His face and arms were covered in scratches, but nothing life-threatening. Content that he was okay, she looked for her jerky. It was gone. Her ears drooped, her tail sagged. She knew that she had made her choice, but it didn't lessen the loss. Nicholas stumbled over to her. Thanks for the... He noticed her sad face. Following her gaze, he quickly recognized the problem. Look, I'm sorry about the food. I owe you one, okay? I'll try and make it up to you. Java dropped a dead monkey in her mouth, still looking sad. Would it help if I roasted the monkey? Her ears perked up. The fire gave off a warm glow. Nicholas admired the flames' ever-changing dance as he plucked the last bits of meat off of his roasted monkey leg. Java was licking the last traces of brain out of the skull. She finished and let out a large burp before throwing herself to the ground, belly towards the warmth of the fire.
You're a good cook,
she said. We're a good team, Nicholas said.
You think so?
I'm pretty sure we could be. Want to find out?
As long as you do the cooking, sure.
Both of them silently looked at the flames for a while, content with the warmth, the silence, and the pleasant feeling of having a full stomach. Nicholas turned to Java. This may sound weird, but can I, pet you?
I'd love that.
End of chapter. And that, my friends, concludes this video. I hope that you enjoyed, and if you do, please consider supporting the author, even by popping over and leaving a thumbs up or a nice comment, just to show your appreciation for the story. However, if you wish to support this channel, there are links down below which will help immensely. I will see you all in the next one, and until then, I hope that you have a fantastic day. Cheers.